Hello all, good evening. Welcome to another session. In this session, we are going to build this ball bearing. So this includes of four parts. So this is the outer ring, and this is the inner ring, and then we have the balls, multiple balls, and then we have the cages, two cages that is going to keep the balls in position. Okay. So this is the final output. Okay. So I'll show this part all around. So this is the final output. So now let's see how to build this model in NX from scratch. So we'll build this components separately and then we'll go into assembly mode and then try to assemble this ball bearing together. Okay, let's get into the video. I'll close this file. Okay, I'll just say new and I say create a temporary folder and I just say okay. And then first let's start with the outer ring. So I giving that name as outer ring. Okay, just say okay. So for that we need to create a sketch in YZ plane. Just say okay, turning off auto dimension, and then we will create a particular. Just first let's draw a line, and then we'll make this as reference, and then I'll going to draw a rectangle, simple rectangle with this dimension. Let's say this to be as 53 mm from this one. Okay, and then before that I'll give this dimension as 12. Okay, and then I now make this as 53. Okay, and then this to be as this is okay, and then this to be as 31. Okay, it is already symmetric, so I don't need to do anything. So this 12 is there, 53, and then I will try to draw a arc using a center point, just randomly something like this. And then this dimension, I'll give it as 8 mm. Okay, and this diameter or the radius of this arc, I'll keep it as 12. Okay, and then I remove the unwanted portion, quick trim. The center portions are unwanted. Just say close. I finish the sketch. Okay, so now I go to revolve, pick the sketch, vector, this one, and then center point. Okay, just say revolve, pick this one. Want to get it revolved around this axis and then this to be the center. Okay, so now we've got the outer ring covered. Just say okay. This portion is now done, and then I will apply a fillet of 0.5 or 2.1 on the outer edges, 0.1 on this one and also on that one. Just apply. Okay, I've applied this one. So this portion is now done. So outer ring is now done. So similarly, let's try to do on the inner ring as well. So I'll close this file. I'll create a new file. I'm keeping it on the same location and then I draw the inner ring. Okay, and just say okay. I use the similar plane so that it's easy for me to ring assembly of this one. And now I will draw a similar sketch So like before, just draw the center line, make this as reference, and then something like this. And now I give this also to be as 12 mm, same as previous, and then and this to be same as 31 as previous, and this dimension I'll give it as 25 from the bottom. Okay, so now everything is done. So similarly, we need to create an arc on the top edge. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll give this dimension to be as 8 mm, this to be as 8, and then the radius of this arc to be as 12 again. Okay, and then I will trim off the unwanted portion, close it, finish the sketch. So my second thing is also done. The inner ring, I go to home, I say revolve, pick this sketch, axis to be this one, and then yeah, you got this already. Okay, so now my inner profile is also ready. Inner ring is also ready. I just save it. I close this file. I create a new file and I'll say ball. Okay, just say okay. I'll pick the same plane. Okay, turn off auto dimension. Just draw an arc. Finish it off. Diameter, I keep it as 12. Radius, sorry. Radius, I'll keep it as 12. Okay, and then this to be as, anyways, this should be 24. We all know. Yeah, this is diameter, so it should be 24. Radius is 12. So now it should be okay. Yeah, once this is done, I finish the sketch. Again, I do a revolve. Same thing what we did previously. Pick this one. Okay, the ball is now ready. I just close it, save this file. Oh, let's go to the last one. This is uh, the ring or the cage, I would say. So I'll close this one, create a new file. Just say cage. Okay, I use the same plane. This one, say okay. Turn off auto dimension. I draw two big circles, one with 94 as diameter, the other one is 86. Two concentric circles. Okay. So once this is done, let's do a symmetrical extrude. Say of value 16. Okay. So this is done now. And then what we'll do, I will draw a sketch on this plane again. Just say okay. I draw a line just for a reference and later I can convert that to a reference line. Okay. And then I draw one more circle with the diameter as 90. That also I will make it as reference here. Okay. and this also I'll turn it as reference. I'll just take this intersection and draw a diameter of 24. Okay, and then I will trim off this portion. Just draw a semicircle here. Okay, I finished the sketch. Okay, then what I do, I will go home and then I revolve it. Something like this. Okay, the ball is now ready, and I want somewhere around 8 balls. I will have to do a pattern geometry. Okay, pick this feature, say circular, this to be as none, this to be as, I want it to be 8 counted, so 360 degree divided by 8. Okay, just say okay. So now you got eight balls on that, and now we will subtract that from the main cage. Okay, I think I made a mistake. In fact, I don't need at the center. So this sketch, whatever we have drawn, it should be on one of the faces. So I go with edit with rollback, I reattach, and I pick this face, just say okay. Okay. And now if I finish, I will hit with rollback. Okay. Finish it. Okay. There is a mistake here. I'll delete these features. I just need to revolve, create a ball here. So what I do, I pick this one and then I pick this as the surface. Okay. So now you see this should be okay. And now as we did pattern geometry, this is the feature, and then this is the vector, and then this should be the center point. Just say okay. Okay. And in this itself, if you have, no, it's not there. So we'll just go to subtract, pick this one using all these balls. We'll create this feature and we'll subtract it, something like this. Okay, till here it should be okay. And now we'll apply a fillet on all these sharp edges with same 2.1 fillet. Okay, so we have applied fillet now. And next what we'll do, we'll apply shell here. We have to pick inner face, outer face, and the top face as well. Okay, shell, this face, and the bottom face, something like this to create the cage. Okay, and then I give thickness as 1.5. Should be okay. So once that is done, we need to again create a sketch to have the holes. So for that, again, I'll create the same plane on this one. Just say okay. Then I turn off auto dimension. I just a random line I draw. That will be the reference. And then I give a value of angle value of 22.5. Okay. And I get this reference line on that intersection. Okay. I draw a circle of diameter 2. So I'll create a point beta intersection point using this and this so that you have a correct reference. Then diameter 2. Okay. So this is now done. Okay. So again, this sketch should be on this face. So I edit with rollback, reattach, and I pick this surface, finish it. Okay. So now this portion is now done. And then I will extrude this. Say okay. And then I pattern geometry, this feature. Just apply. And then I subtract all these cylinders to have a hole. Okay. So now if you see, I use Control W to hide all the sketches. Okay. So my cage is now ready. I'll save this file as well. So now all my files are now ready in this temporary location. So what I do, I'll close this file as well, and then I'll create a new assembly, and I'll say ball bearing assembly like this. And then what I do, I add them. So now I open on desktop, I have a temporary file, and then I say outer ring, just say okay. And I just say absolute origin. Okay, just say okay. I've got the outer ring. Okay, so similarly open inner ring as well with absolute origin. You see, since we took the same plane, it is coming and sitting in exactly in the nice position. And now I will insert the ball. Okay, absolute position also. Okay, so now this ball, I want it in between these two. So what I do, I go here, assembly constraint, I keep touch constraint between ball to be in touch constraint with this face and this face. Okay, so now you see it is in good position. Let's say okay. So now what I do pattern geometry, pattern component, sorry. Then pick this ball, same thing, circular. We need this to be in this vector, and then this axis, this to be as the center point. Yeah, we need 8, and then we need 360 divided by 8. Okay, and just say okay. Now this portion is also done. So now we need to add the last component, that is the cage. Just say okay, and absolute origin, say okay. Okay, this is coming in a different orientation. It's okay, no problem. So what we can do, we can move this component. I want this to be moved. First, I'll move it dynamically to keep it away, and then I know how it needs to be. So I will rotate manually something like this. Okay, and just say, and I'll keep it something like this so that it's easier for me to understand how this part has to be assembled. Okay, you see it's okay. How it should be okay. So for ease of assembly, what I do, I get into this cage. I draw one more dummy circle so that it's easy for me to extrude and position them. I just extrude this. Later we can delete once we assemble it. So I have created one dummy cylinder inside this cage. So now what I do, I assembly constraint, concentric. This one should be concentric with this one. Okay. So now you see it is in good position. So now I move this component dynamically. Okay, it's all together. So what I do, I will delete this one. Instead of assembly constraint, I'll just move it. Pick this one and I say by constraint and just say concentric. This one and this one. Okay. And now I move this one, not this one, move this one by dynamic, by handle, something like this. So now it is in good position. So now what I will do, I will say by constraint and I say touch and pick this ball with this ball. It should be touch again here. I'll do it again. I move this ball again. I move this component by dynamic. Okay, move this. And just orient it manually, something like this. If you see from the top, still it needs to be rotated a bit. Something like this. Okay. And then I move component. I pick this one. I say by constraint. I say touch. And then I say touch here as well. I pick this face to this face. Okay. And now you see it is almost ready. Similarly, I go to top plane and then I rotate by manually. Pick this component by dynamic. Okay. Okay. This is okay. And then I will move this a little bit. and then I apply touch constraint. Okay, then I move it dynamically. Okay, something else is happening. So I try to move 1 mm to check if it is in touch condition. Okay, you can see something like this. So now it is not interfering. Let's say okay. And similarly, you can just do a symmetry of this particular gauge. I do a mirror assembly. Just picking this reference between this and this. Just say next. Let's just say next, next, and finish. So you see how I have created this one. So now what I do, I take this one and then I say by constraint and then I say concentric this one to be concentric with this one. And I reverse it. First, let me constrain this one. Then I move this component by dynamic like this. Then I will orient it. And then I will take this and I say by constraints concentric this circle to circle. I think I'm doing some mistakes. So what I do first, let me assemble this one. I'll pick this one and then it's a lot of trial and error. I use a touch constraint and then I pick this face and then I pick this ball. So now you see it is perfectly matching with this one. Okay, just say okay. So this is now fixed. I will unpack this one and this one I will fix it. So for fixing it, I use assembly constraint and I say no. Uh, where is fix here? Just component. I don't want this to be moved. Fix is here. Okay, just say fix, pick this one, and I just say okay. You can see the fixed constraint is now applied. So now what I do, I move this component. Sorry, I need to pick this. Move this component. I'll just move it away dynamically like this, and then just keep it for a while somewhere here. And then I will first try to make it concentric by constraint concentric. Okay, and then I move it rearwards. This component I try to move. Okay, and then keep it here, and then I will try to fix this one using constraint by saying concentric between this one and this one. Before that, maybe I'll what I do, I'll say touch constraint. Otherwise, it is much easier. Fix this one using constraint, and I say touch. By touch, pick this face to be in constraint with this face. Okay, and then I do this again, and then I will by concentric this one to this one. Okay, I think some mistake with this component itself. So what I do, I will delete this one. Okay, and then let me try to mirror this assembly again. Okay, and now I'll move it by dynamic. I keep it in the top view. And like this, then just say okay. So now you see it should be okay. Now wait for it by an assembly constraint. Okay, and now I will say this component has to be by touching this face should be touched to this face. So now it should be okay. So now you see our ball bearing is now completed. So I say Control W to remove all the constraints. And this we used it only for our constraining purpose. So I unpack, open it in a display part. I go back, delete these two, so we don't need them anymore. And then I come back here. So now you see, I say Control W, hide all assembly constraints, all datum planes, everything. So now you see our ball bearing assembly is now completed. Okay. Thank you. See you in another video. Thank you. Bye bye.